Okay, so now we're gonna do actual app deployment, and we're gonna work through a few issues that involve an app deployment. So we've already gone over um, stuff like identifiers and um, certificate signing requests and creating provisioning profiles. So you create a provisioning profile when you are deploying to development, but when you're distributing, you don't have to, and because X or App Store Connect will generate it for you. Um, so a lot of the other things, that other tutorials show you about the deployment to the App Store process, like certificates and stuff like that, you don't have to do that because we've already done that. So now what's left is, preparing your project, um, and going to App Store Connect, setting up, your stuff in App Store Connect and going from there. So yeah, let's get to it. So first what we're gonna do is to prepare this for App Store Connect, we want to select an app category, and we're just gonna say education. I'm just picking it up, right? Then you have a display name, right? And then I'm gonna call this Let's Deploy App. Now remember, this is not going to be um exactly like something on the real world. This is just a test, a dummy app that really does nothing, you know. But this is so that we can get it out to the app store. So and then another thing we have to make sure that we have to have our app icons, right? So you're gonna go to your assets folder. Right here, there are no app icons, so we need to add them. So I created some dummy app icons, but there are also some issues that you have to be aware of with regard to app icons. Now, you see this right here. Of course, as you see in most app icons, the corners are rounded, right? But Apple wants you to not put rounded corners in here, but actually put square corners. The system will round them. So, um, say you create some icons or you go to a third party like Fiverr to have someone design your app icons, you need to make sure and request that the corners are square. This is a cubicle. The corners cannot be rounded. So I am dealing with the issue of having rounded app icons from the past. So let's see. This is get info. So these are more squared. And another thing you want to make sure that you do is you must avoid things like transparency, right? Um, when you do your analyzing, you will when you do an analysis, and I'll show you how to do that with App Store Connect. When you analyze it and try to do a distribute it, what's going to happen is it's going to throw an error, and the error will be based on transparencies in your app icon. So for this, I hate to say I'm doing a workaround because I don't have all of my app icons in the proper sizes. So for this right here, single size, I'm going to do this right here. Now, you're not going to do single size when you put your app in the App Store, right? Chances are you're going to say all sizes, and this is what you're going to be doing right here. Okay. So now, what does this mean? 20 points times 2. This is 40 by 40. This is 60 by 60 by 60. These are multiples of 20. Okay. 20 divides into them easily. All right. Same thing with this. 29 goes into 58 2 times. 29 goes into 87, by 87 two times, right? So this is their convention for setting these up. But what you need to make sure is that the images are exactly 40 by 40 or 70 by 76 by 76 or 114 by 114, okay? And that they are square, not rounded. Okay. So I'm gonna go here, and as you see, I do not have access to all of the sizes, right? This particular person created icons that are not the sizes that I need, right? These icons are from a long time ago though. But you must have these 16 sizes. Okay. So these sizes are here in this one. So I'm going to look at this, right? Icon 40. Let me go and get info on this. And yes, 40 by 40. As a matter of fact, all of these 40 by 40, 48 by 48, 60 by 60, all of these. So I need to go through and find 40 by 40, right? But put the wrong size in, what happens is this, that, right? So you know you have a wrong size. It's not working. It's delete. Oh, Jesus. I hate when that does that. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so now we'll do this the right way, right? 60. 58. 87. 76. 114. Okay, where's 80? 80. 120. 120. 180. 128. Right. 192. Right. Let me go back here. 136, 152, 136. 152. 152. Again, this is not good. Why? Because these should be squared, not rounded. 52, 167. These should be squared, not rounded. But for some reason, this passes. But the big one will not pass. So now our assets folder is ready. And let me see, what else do we need to have ready? And let's go ahead and let's make some cheap functionality, and let's build and let's see what's going on. Print HELLO world. Okay. And let's do a build. And it's taking its time to build. This is supposed to be it. And it should print hello world to the console once it's finished building. And it's still not finished building, right? Now it's finished building. Hello world right there. So, and let's go back to our device and go home. And as we can see, let's deploy app. Okay, right there. Okay. So now our unique app is working. Let's deploy app. So now what we need to do is we need to go to our we must go to developer.apple.com. Let's create an identifier for this app, okay? All right, so I'm logging in. All right. So now I need to go here, create an identifier. Right. So we have this. I'm going to say, I'm going to add, so we have, again, we have our certificates, right? This is our development and distribution certificate. These are just other crap. I don't want to even mess with it, right? These are identifiers from prior apps. Okay, no profiles. We don't need it. We don't need to worry about it. Go to identifiers, create this. And yes, this is for an app ID. That's what we need. This is the type app. We'll continue. And we'll say, we'll call this Let's Deploy Hello World. Let's deploy Hello World. Okay, now the bundle ID is simple. This is our app ID prefix, our team ID. This goes into the front, and the bundle ID is our suffix in this ID. So I need to go here, go to here, and now this is my bundle identifier, but I go to signing capabilities so I can copy and paste the bundle identifier. AC. So now I have this. So now what I need to do, I'm gonna go back here just to get out of there. Go back here, Command B, right? And so this is it right here. So I continue and I register. So now, where did I put it? Oh, yeah. It's in there somewhere. Let's deploy Hello World, right? I didn't realize how many identifiers I had in here, right? This is the identifier right there. Okay, so now we have this done. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to come out of here, developer account. We're gonna go to App Store Connect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and create an app, new app. We'll say iOS, okay, and we're gonna call this Let's, right, deploy HELL, hello world, right? Choose our primary language, which is English, right? And our bundle ID, let's deploy hello world right here. Okay. And a SKU number is just a number that we'll make up. Okay. So we'll just say 1.0000. I will go into SKU numbers later on and how this should be done. Well, so let me go ahead and talk about the SKU number, right? So SKU number is a unique number used to identify your app. And so, and it cannot be shared with any other app. So I'm gonna do like this. I'm just gonna call this Rover Tech, right? 1000.01. Right. So that's just the number. That's just an arbitrary number for now. I mean, it can mean something within your company. It's just a number used to identify this app for your records and maybe even for the records of App Store Connect. So create. Okay. So now I'm in here. And so, yeah, we'll get started on version information. So now, if you want to go ahead and what you need to do first is start adding your previews, right? You need at least 3 app previews. And of course, you kind of have to play with this, right? So you have to go, what you do is you go, you build your app, get it running. Of course, we don't have anything special in our app. Actually, we have nothing in our view controller, right? So this is what our app looks like, right? But if you want to display your interface, you're going to say Command S, and there you go. Drop this here. Well, click the edit button first, right? Right. Go here, Command S, and you're going to take this and you drop this here. And so now you have a display, and let's just, for the sake of expediency, let's just do this multiple times. Command S, right? Another one, identical. Of course, you're not going to have identical. You're going to have different screens, right? Command S. You're going to have different screens, and this is going to be for your thing. I would go into this later, but you can also do the preview video, but that's for another video. We need to get through this. Okay. So now promotional text. I'll just say welcome to the app. Yeah, very creative, right? Description says hello world. The best app ever, right? Keywords, awesome apps, million users, right? And counting. Support URL. I'm going to go here and we're going to say Grover tech support, right? See, I'm going to go back here and we're going to say boom. And we have to put a URL here. And we'll say who has the copyright, Norbert Technologies, right? Right. Because that's a real company, which it's not. This is where you're gonna put your app clip if you want to add an app clip. This is where you're gonna put your for iMessage, I guess. You don't need to do this. And Apple Watch, right? So you're gonna have to go over here to general. And by the way, let's go ahead and save what we've done so far, right? Okay. So now this is saved. Now you're going to go over here to app information. You're going to add your name, your subtitle. This is your bundle ID that we created. Remember that you have to use your categories, right? You're going to set up content right information, age restriction. So content right, does this contain third party content? Yes or no, you have to do that. Your age rating, um, you know, so this is all for, appropriateness, age appropriateness for your app, right? You need to try and make this as correct as possible, okay? Because yeah, you're gonna work out your pricing, okay? App privacy policy. So for this, there are apps that web apps that you can use, right? So for this, so it says get started, right? You can go to this app store. Let me see. See, iOS app, legal, privacy, policy. And this should be terms feed. Yes, this is what I've used. You need a termsfeed.com and you can generate, it says tons of privacy policies, terms and conditions, disclaimers, and it grants a URL where from your App Store Connect, you're going to link to this. Okay. I'm not going to go into that because actually when you come here, it's self-explanatory. So boom, boom, you're going to deal with the data collection stuff. Do we collect data or don't you? And yeah, so you have to, yeah, ratings and reviews, all this. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Version history. So this is the version, an app review. Yeah. Items you submit to app review will appear here, right? So this app, I'm not going to actually enter in for app review. I'm not, right? Go back here, right? So now let's go back to this build. You need to have your build. So let's go back and let's create our build in our app. And that's relatively simple. Hold on. I swear this thing is killing me. So here's how we're going to create our build. We're going to go up here and we're going to say any device. Okay. And then I'm going to do something and it's going to throw an error and you'll see. This goes back to what we talked about by app icons. Product archive. Okay, right. Let's validate this before we distribute it. Because this is going to be the errors that we're going to get. Upload app symbols, manage version and build number, automatically manage signing. That's right. So this is our provisioning profile, right? This is about the provisioning profile. They should say that actually, but whatever. You're not going to manage signing manually. You're going to let App Store Connect do it. Right here, and you're going to validate. And I guarantee you there will be an error. I don't know why there wasn't an error because this has there are transparencies in there and rounded corners. Just make sure you don't have those, okay? Oh well, maybe this will throw an error. So now I'm going to distribute the app. App Store Connect. And again, I talked about ad hoc enterprise development briefly in past tutorials. Right now, we're App Store Connect, upload. Okay, now manage version build number, upload your app symbols, automatically manage signing, of course. and upload. And we've successfully uploaded on the first try. So now we're back here. We're looking at this. Let's go ahead and refresh this. We have all our little screenshots and everything, and we'll go to build. Let's see. Build. Your app uses encryption. If your app uses encryption. So we might have to wait for this to for it to circulate through the system. So let's wait a little bit. Okay, so now our what we distributed from the App Store is finally, App Store Connect finally has it, and we go back into our portal and we have this button. Okay, sometimes it might take a little 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes, but here it is. We do that, and this is our build, right? Missing compliance. Now I'm gonna tell you what that missing compliance is. The missing compliance is the images. We have an image problem, right? Because there's some transparency, right? That's a problem. So you have to realize that before you push it to the App Store. But I'm going to go ahead and select this, and this is right here, and this is manage missing compliance. Oh, algorithm standard. Oh, I'm sorry. Then the algorithm encryption, export compliance information. Oh yeah, so you just kind of like have to select one of these. Standard encryption, both algorithms mentioned above, none algorithms mentioned above. What type of encryption algorithm does your app implement? None. Okay. Then I save. So that's what it is. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. But we do have a problem with the images. It just hasn't caught up to us right now. Trust me. You can't have none of that rounded corner stuff. You got to have the sharp corners, okay? And so, we filled out everything up to here, and then once everything is filled out, we save this, right? And then we add for review. Of course, the way in the state that it's in right now, we'll get warnings and saying you need to do this, you need to do that. We have to add in the information for sign in. This is for if someone has to log into your app, this is a dummy account that you create so that the people at Apple can log in and see what you want, and you leave directions for how things are supposed to work, right? Your contact information, phone number, and email, right? If they have questions, if they need to talk to you. Yeah. And of course, you might want to, once this is finished review, you might want to designate that you manually release it, or as soon as they finish review, they automatically release it. And this one is basically once you finish, release it, but you can't do it any earlier than a specific date that you specify here. And really, that is all of the basics of deploying an app to the App Store. And maybe in future tutorials, I will get more in depth with some of these other things. And we'll talk about deploying. One thing that people don't talk about is deploying to the App Store for someone else, not your team, but for another team. You might have to do this when you do remote work for a company, or you do freelance work for an individual. You have to know how to deploy for them. So, and we'll talk about some of the issues that can be addressed in another video. But I hope that this series has helped you get what you need to basically be familiar with deploying apps, because I know that when I first started, um, people give us this all these steps, and then I run into problems later on, right? For whatever reason, I was on the assumption that you created a certificate, a distribution certificate, and a development certificate every single time, you deployed an app to the app store, right? So I had all these a million certificates for every app that I did, because I followed step by step other people's tutorials, but that's not the way it works, right? We know that, right? I had certificate signing requests all over the place. Um, you know, uh, and all of the pieces I knew steps, but the pieces to this puzzle weren't fitting together properly, right? I didn't understand the relation of identifiers to provisioning profiles, when I should create a provisioning profile, when I shouldn't, and things to that effect. So hopefully this tutorial series has clarified that for you, and on to the next.